So today we're starting section 1.3. It's all about the order of operations. The goal says to review the order of operations, so this should not be new to you guys. We are going to spend 3 days reviewing it though, so hopefully by Wednesday you have a pretty good handle on it. Thursday we're going to do a little review activity over the order of operations, and then Friday you're going to have a quiz over everything we've learned so far. So the adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers, the multiplying and dividing positive and negative numbers, and then all the order of operations. Remember, quizzes in here are worth 50 points, so it's kind of a big deal to do well on Friday, so make sure you're keeping up with the notes and asking questions when you need to. Questions before we get going? Another reminder, make sure that all these notes are finding their way into your notebook, especially things like the title and the section number and the goal. I like to ask questions about those on the notebook quiz, so make sure you're getting all that information down. All right, you don't need to write any of this. I just want to have a little discussion with you guys. Do you think order is going to matter in math? Yeah, or else we wouldn't be spending 3 days learning it. But just in case you don't believe me, I want to do the problem that's on the board in 2 different ways. Let's do the parentheses first. So if you do what's inside the parentheses, what would you get? 8. So we'd have 6 parentheses with an 8. And then that's multiplication. So what's 6 times 8? You can use a calculator. Should be getting 48. So if you do it with parentheses first, you get 48. What if instead, though, I wanted to multiply the 6 and the 5 first? What's 6 times 5? 30. So you could argue that it's 30 plus 3, right? And then that would give you 33. So does order matter?
Yes, it does.
It definitely does. Which one of these is right? Does anyone know? The top one. Yeah, you want to do the parentheses first. Here's another example. Again, you don't need to write it down. I just want to sort of look at it. A very common mistake in this one is that people would want to add the 2 and the 3 first. If you add the 2 and the 3, you'd get 5 times 5, which is 25. That's not right. What's the right way to do it? Yeah, you should do the multiplication first, so you'd have the 2 in the front and the plus sign. We haven't touched those yet. 3 times 5 would give us 15, and then you'd add. So the correct way to do it actually gives us 17. So, yes, order matters. There is proof for you in 2 problems that order matters. So we all have to agree to follow the same order. Here's the order we're going to follow. This is where you need to start writing in your notes. So this is the order of operations. Anytime I say follow the order of operations, this is what I'm talking about. You want to do your parentheses first. That means to simplify whatever's inside of parentheses. So if the parentheses are representing multiplication, you do it down in the multiplication step. But if there's something you can do inside the parentheses, that comes first. Then any exponents, we're going to really focus on the exponents tomorrow. They're just going to appear in just a couple random problems today. But once you do parentheses and exponents, then we do multiplication and division from left to right. That's the way you read. So multiplication does not come before division. Division does not come before multiplication. They're at the exact same time, just from left to right. And then addition and subtraction is the same way. A lot of people like to say PEMDAS. I don't like that too much because it implies that multiplication happens before division and addition happens before subtraction. Again, it's not necessarily like that. It's always from left to right. So I always underline the M and the D and the A and the S just to show that those do go together. So on every problem this week, I'm going to just talk you through the order of operations right as they come. So P, parentheses. Are there any parentheses? Can you simplify what's inside the parentheses? No, that's as simple as it's going to get. So we can move on to exponents. Any exponents? Any multiplication or division? Yes, here the parentheses actually mean to multiply. I always underline the step that I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing right now. What is 8 times negative 3? Negative 24. So instead of writing 8 parentheses negative 3, I'm going to write negative 24. I'm actually going to do the math for the part that I underlined. Anything that you didn't underline, you didn't change, so just rewrite it. Okay, any more multiplication or division? Nope. So we can go down to the adding and subtracting step. Is there any adding and subtracting? Yes, there's adding. So we can go ahead and do negative 24 plus 4, which is negative 20. Good. And once you get to your answer, circle it so I know what your answer is. That's exactly how your work should look. Step by step, reducing what you did from line to line. So each time it should get shorter and shorter what you're writing because you're working things out as you go. Any questions? All right, let's look at number 2, starting back up with the P. P for parentheses. Are there parentheses? Yes. So we want to simplify what's inside parentheses, and you still use the order of operations inside the parentheses. So what should we do first inside of them? The multiplication. Good. So that's going to be what? 15. So anything that you're not changing, anything that you didn't underline, just copy it down. So I have the 5. I have the parentheses. We said that this was going to give us a 15. That's the only thing that should change. You still have the minus 4. Everyone agree with what's on the board? Okay, now what am I going to do? Yeah, we're still in the parentheses following the order of operations. So I need to do that subtraction step next. That gives me an 11. And then 5 times 11 gives me 55. Very good. Now, if you are using your calculator, that's great. I still need to see your work, though. But I'll be completely honest with you. You could type this into the calculator, and it will give you the final answer of 55. I would recommend doing that on a quiz or a test. Honestly, I would go through it step by step on your own, and then I would go back and check your work by typing it in and seeing if you got the same answer. If you didn't, either you're wrong or the calculator's wrong, so you need to take a little more time and figure out what happened on that one. Questions? All right, here's number 3. I'll give you a second to write it down, then we'll do it together. We are looking at 7 examples today, if you're curious how long this is going to take. All right, so starting at the top, P for parentheses. Are there any parentheses? Can I do anything inside those parentheses? Yes, I can do 6 minus 2, which is 4. Nothing else changes. So I still have parentheses, but can you simplify anything inside the parentheses? No. Okay? Next we have exponents. Any exponents? Any multiplication or division? Yes, we can do the 4 divided by 2 now, which is 2. And then any adding and subtracting? Nope, so we are done. 2. Any questions? All right, here's number 4. Number 4 is kind of tricky. I'll give you a second to write it just as it's written on the board. Now, anytime you see this big division symbol, you're dividing the whole top by the whole bottom. So you need to figure out what the whole top equals first, and then the whole bottom. It's kind of like putting a parentheses on the top and a parentheses on the bottom. So yes, before you can do any sort of division, you have to do that 4 minus 1, which is 3. And then on the bottom you have 5. Now, can you do 3 divided by 5? Not really. I mean, you could get the decimal value for it. I prefer to leave it 3 divided by 5. Now, if that would have been something like 10 divided by 5, then you actually need to write 2, or whatever you would get when you do the division. But here, that's fine with me. Questions on this one? All right, here's number 5. All right, parentheses, anything? Exponents, anything? Multiply, divide, anything? Yeah, we have both. When you have both, you just work left to right the way that you read. So we need to do the 5 times the 7 first. What was that? What did we get? 35. Good. 35, and then nothing else should change right now because you haven't done anything else. The only thing we did was the 5 times the 7. All right, are we done with multiplying and dividing? No, we still have some division back here. So we'll have 35 minus, what is 4 divided by 2? 2. Now we're done with multiplication and division, so I can go into adding and subtracting, which there's only one more step. That gives me 33. Very good. I'll give you guys a second to copy that down. Any questions? All right, here's number 6. All right, do we have parentheses? Do we have exponents? Do we have multiplying and dividing? Yes, so we're going to be right here. What is 25 divided by 5? And we didn't touch the 12 or the minus sign. So that's 12 minus 5, which is, careful, 7. Alright, here's the last example we're going to do as a group today. There's a lot going on in this one. Remember that anytime you have a big fraction like this or a big division sign like this where you have to simplify the whole top and the whole bottom, you could think of it as parentheses if you want, or you can just think of it as, okay, I got to do the whole top, then I got to do the whole bottom, then my last step will be that division symbol. If it helps you though, just put some parentheses up there. So I know I have to get rid of the whole top or simplify the whole top before I can do any dividing by 3. Everyone with me? Okay, so inside the parentheses that I added, I need to follow the order of operations. Do I have any exponents? Yes, this is the only example today that has exponents. There's only one on your homework that has exponents. So we need to take a quick second and review what it means to be an exponent. What does this mean? You have 2 how many times? 3 times. So this is actually 2 times 2 times 2. Don't tell me 6. My first class kept saying, oh, it's 6, it's 6, it's 6. It's not 6. If I wanted you to get 6 as your answer, I just would have wrote 2 times 3. That's not the same as this, okay? It's 8 because you have to do 2 times 2, which is 4, times another 2, which is 8. So the top is now going to look like this, 4 plus 8, and then I still have the whole divided by 3. If you want to put the parentheses, so you remember just to keep working through that top part, you can. Remember, I added those in the first place, so you can keep them or not. It's really just how you prefer to write it. So what do I need to do next? Add the 4 and the 8, which is 12. And then 12 divided by 3 is 4. Very good. Now, I will tell you this. If you are relying on the calculator, you need to put these parentheses on there, or it doesn't know that the whole thing is being divided by 3. It just thinks the last number is being divided by 3. So if you're a calculator person, you need to open a set of parentheses. 4 plus 2, and then do you guys know this little caret button? That's how you type in an exponent. Of 3, and then you close the parentheses, and then you hit divided by 3. So It's kind of hard to type it in, but that's how you would type it in. And it should give you 4. If it doesn't, we need to go back and review that. Do you guys have any questions? All right, here's our wrap up for today. Does order matter in math? Yes. What is the order we're going to follow? Yes, and that stands for parentheses, exponents,
multiplication, division.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys said those together. Those go together, and adding and subtract goes together. The only thing that could make this lesson better, I know exactly what you're thinking, is a wrap. Anyone thinking that? Anyone feel that way?
It's not like a taco wrap.
Well, you are in luck because here it is.
Order of operations. Now make sure you follow C. Spin its exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know this. I've been first and I've been last. Either way, I keep the order with pen gas. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know when I evaluate expressions, I have some patience. I just follow the order of operations. I simplify to see what they equal. Pen comes first and DAS is the sequel. Pen DAS, yeah, that's an acronym. We'll break it down just to see what is happening. P is parentheses, search for one first. Whatever is inside them, you need to do the work. E is exponents, so raise them up. Or get down with the roots like Questlove does. MD, multiplication and division. I do them left to right, yes, that's my decision. AS, addition and subtraction. You learn them first, do it last, that is the fashion. Some say please excuse my dear friend Sally, some say pen dash. Either way the order is important, just like swim class. I've been first and I've been last. Either way I keep the order with pen dash. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know this. I've been first and I've been last. Either way I keep the order with pen dash. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know this. Okay, let's say that we've got this. Let's use pen dash, see what we accomplish. First we do what we see in the parentheses. 17 minus 15, that is 2 indeed. 3 plus 1, that is 4, yes I'm brilliant. Now, exponents is what we'll be dealing with. 4 to the second means 4 times 4, that equals 16. And yes, I am sure. Next we multiply and we divide. 16 times 2 is 32. Oh my. 32 divided by 4 is 8. And then we add or subtract, okay? 8 minus 5 is 3, which is easier than writing this to me. Cut through your operations just like a surgeon. Flowcat, yeah, we keep it working. I've been first and I've been last. Either way I keep the order with pen dash. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know this. I've been first and I've been last. Either way I keep the order with pen dash. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know this.